was a partner for 20 years at an investment bank in Brazil. And first heard of climate change in 1992 at the Rio Climate Summit. And in 1994, I moved to New York, and I've noticed some investment funds starting to look at the social and the environmental impact, and that was great. But it took me a while, until 2005. All the time, I collected newspaper articles I wanted to read one day, didn't have the time, and put it all in a folder, in a physical folder I called to be read one day. And then time went by, and it came time for change, 2005. And by coincidence, I was invited to go to the Amazon for the first time. Never been there. When I arrived at Acre, the capital of Acre, I witnessed for the first time the scale of the destruction. Trucks filled with logs and the smell of smoke everywhere. From the capital of Acre, we took a small plane to our destination, which was the border of Brazil and Peru. Landing in a small village, we took a canoe upriver to the Ashaninka indigenous land. Flying over the Amazon for hours and hours, only trees, was a big impact to me. At Ashaninka indigenous land, we stayed for 5 days, and those 5 days changed my life. But the breakthrough came when I saw an area that was totally destroyed, degraded by loggers in the 80s, and that was restored by the Ashaninka, and I was amazed by what I saw. It was possible to restore a degraded land back into a functioning, healthy ecosystem. Back to Rio, I needed to be part of the solution. For us to have a chance to stabilize the climate, we are going to need a lot of capital, and fast. Reforestation is capital intensive and long-term. To implement it in the scale needed, we are going to need a profitable business model to attract mainstream capital. All I could imagine was how to mimic nature into a forest restoration company integrating science, traditional knowledge, ecology, and finance. Inspired by the Amazon's super biodiversity and diversification as an investment strategy to reduce risk, I imagine a forest model, one that prioritizes giving back to nature before taking from it. Reforest degraded pasture with multi-species biodiverse forests in a mosaic of conservation and sustainable production of high-quality wood. A profitable economic model with a positive impact on nature. So, the only problem was that it has never been done before. Large-scale planting is usually done with one species. It simplifies the operation from nursery to planting and harvest. But we did it anyway. In 2010, we started the proof of concept. To get maximum tree growth, we chose to establish the pilot project in a tropical area where once stood the Atlantic rainforest in Brazil, one of Earth's biodiversity hotspots with a high number of tree species and a record number of plants and animals threatened with extinctions. The first step will be to create a genetic conservation site, a plant breeding program, starting with degraded pasture with no trees. We needed to collect the best seeds. Everything starts with the seeds. Collecting the seeds from the best mother trees will guarantee the conservation of those species for future generations. A mother tree is a tree selected for its straightness and shape. The seeds are prepared and germinated in our nursery. After 6 months of care in the nursery, the plants are ready to go to the field. The trees are ready to be planted. Today, we have the capacity to produce 5 million trees per year. By selecting and combining species, experimenting with spacing, fertilization, and soil correction, we are able to accelerate growth by 50%, and that's just the beginning. Another thing we wanted to find out was how our multi-species forests affect biodiversity. The study of the vertebrate fauna began in 2010 when we bought our first farm, serving as the baseline for monitoring change over time. During all 6 campaigns, we found 370 vertebrates, including 30 species of mammals and 231 species of birds. The results show that our farms are wildlife friendly, and as forest matures, the chance to find more species increases. In order to make large-scale restoration profitable, we need the wood cash flow. A $500 billion market in sales per year, wood has been used throughout the ages for construction, furniture, musical instruments, packaging, and paper. Wood is the most versatile construction material, carbon positive, beautiful and gentle to the touch, resistant and durable, affordable and elegant, bringing a warm comfort to our homes for many years of continued use. The global awareness of the importance of forests for climate creates the need of integrating production with ecologically sound principles. The product begins with a forest, but the forest is much more than the product. Carbon dioxide is captured by plants and oxygen released, so forests secure the very basis of life in the planet. After 7 years of measuring, planting, and collecting data, we had reliable, audited information about our economic model. That was when the World Resources Institute contacted us. They were investigating nature-based solutions companies that could be scaled up. They opened new doors to us. It took years of talks with tens of institutional investors all over the world, but the innovation and complexity of our model scared them away. It took 15 years of persistent experimentation, collaboration to make the dream a reality. Developing a culture of excellence, respect, and care for humans and for wildlife to make a different forest company. In December 2023, Symbiosis became one of the 3 investments that are part of Apple's Restore Fund, managed by Goldman Sachs and Conservation International. Now, we can scale up our operations to deliver benefits that go far beyond carbon, from strengthening communities to enhancing biodiversity. Countless businesses are ready to be reinvented, production methods waiting to be redesigned. We must commit our minds and actions. There is no time to waste. Let's make it better, smarter, zero waste, zero emission, fully biodegradable. Nature's way turns waste into input again and again. The symbiosis model should be a blueprint replicated everywhere, in every biome. Each region with unique plants and adapted incentives can thrive in sync with nature, and cooperation, association, in true symbiosis. Thank you.